What's up, everybody? A Sparrow with a Gun here from Sleepless Nights with another episode on Space Engineers, back on our Corvette build. And I have good news! The ship is no longer purple. Oh, wait, no. No. It's definitely still purple. Okay. Oh, well, the good news is there's partially some things that are no longer purple. See, like the ramps? I fixed the ramps. Ha ha ha! Yay me! Yay me! Okay, so it was kind of interesting. I had a comment on my last video where someone was apparently having the same issue since the update, and we're actually asking for ideas on how to fix it. And the comment that was directed towards that individual gave a solution of essentially unpacking the mod and taking the textures out of the packed file and put it in directly into the game folder. And I did a couple of them right, and then I didn't realize I did the rest of them wrong until actually I was done. And then I honestly just didn't feel like going back through them all and fixing them right now. So besides, I hadn't tested it yet to see if it worked. So when I loaded it back in, I could see that the ones that I did do right were working now and no longer purple. So there is a fix for that. Prior or in lieu of the mod makers actually just making it fixed. Because I don't actually know whose end that's on. I don't know if that's something the way that mods are done that has now changed in the base game. Like if that's something that Keen switched was how mods are looked at or something in the code. I don't know. Or if that has to do with just things getting moved around and, you know, stuff like that. I'm not really sure what about the new update caused the texture mismatch. Because for any of you that aren't real familiar with game development or whatever, that's the big problem, is the directory that the game is looking for the textures for these mods is apparently no longer, or it's either the directory or how it's processed is no longer the same way. So it can't find anything to put for a texture over top of these models, so then you just end up with the purple model. That's kind of like textureless type of thing. Oh, there's some little ones that I missed too. I didn't even know the cryo chamber had that. I'm gonna have to go through and make a list of all the ones that are busted, kind of thing. Like, it's weird too, because like with these are all TVSI, I think? Is that the right? TVSI tech? So these interior ones are all TVSI, yet it's only the fridge that's broke. So that's really weird how some of them are busted and some of them are like perfectly fine. That's what I said. I don't know if it's the mod person that made it, how they set it up. I don't know if that's kind of their problem or if it's from the developer. Anyways, kind of rambling on one topic. We did fix the ramps. Let me go into spectator mode. So the ramps are back to normal. So that's good. It doesn't look quite so purpley. But like I said, there's still some, like the ladders and shields and elevators and stuff like that that still need it. Particularly the doors. The doors are kind of an obvious one. Now, let's address the other elephant in the room, which was what we brought up last episode, was the new vanilla blocks and why we're not getting them on our ship. Now, I hadn't even thought about it. Oh, I gotta fix these too. Okay, more to add to the list. Yeesh. They broke a lot of texture directories, didn't they? Or addresses, locations. So, in the last episode I mentioned how these looked way better and aren't available over here, and we're still getting the older vanilla blocks. I loaded up a vanilla world without any mods and tried to look at what wasn't available for a small ship grid, and it's pretty much all of the ones we were talking about that we were getting the vanilla blocks. The grav generators, the med bays, doors, all that stuff that was coming up as the old vanilla blocks. It's basically because there is no vanilla object, like the med bay here. There is no vanilla object for the small ship grid, so it's defaulting back to the small ship mod pack that still has the old blocks. Now, if at some point the modder or another modder that originally did like a small ship pack type thing comes up with the same solution with the newer models, like either updates the original mod to where it now has the new models, or another modder comes along and does a similar pack where you can access any block on a small ship grid, but it's utilizing the new models. Then these would be like this. It would go back to what these are. But at the moment, because there is no vanilla block for some of these, the only reason we're able to place anything is because we actually have a mod that is using it, but it still has the old versions. So that's what that's about, because I really wasn't sure if it was overriding vanilla models or if it was replacing them, and it's basically replacing what's not there, essentially. So we can basically go ahead and get rid of all these, because these look cool and all, but you know, we're not really going to be able to use them until either the mod pack is updated or another mod comes around from someone else, or same person, I guess. Personally, because it wouldn't involve any kind of custom models or anything, I wouldn't mind doing it myself. I just don't know how. I don't know the process of how to get the mod and stuff to work in the game. I've heard from other modders and things that it's actually more complicated than it probably needs to be. But, you know, it is what it is. I'm not a modder. So, I mean, I've used mods, but I've never actually really made one of my own. I understand most of the concepts, but I don't really know all the steps for this particular game, which apparently isn't fairly easy to do. With that said, I also agreed with most of the feedback from last episode on this turret setup, where even though we can use the new models, I'm not really a fan. That's always pointed the wrong way. So we're going to put that back where it was. And let's see, we're going to grab our heavy armor, and we're going to replace this top part. And then let me poke a hole in here. And this is basically going to tell us our range when we go inside and try and fix this. So we're going to go back to this style instead of the other one. And it's like that. It's really weird for me to think of how this works, because... Oh, wait, that's a small missile turret. Never mind. I was going to say this is the same as this, but it's not. They're two different mods. Okay, that makes more sense then. All my twin blasters and the twin missile launchers have purplified. So, yeah, we have some tweaking to do, but there is a solution. So, worst case scenario, it all stays exactly the same that it is, and we have no problems. Best case is, you know, eventually the modders and developers will get it sorted and figured out and everything, and it'll kind of go back to normal. My only concern, really, with manually fixing this stuff is going to end up being if and when they update the mods or textures or models or whatever, then what I've done to change it will override it. And so I won't get whatever the new part is, because you're basically not putting it in the mod directory, you're putting it directly into the game directory, so I don't know if that will override the mod. So that's the only part I'm not sure about. I mean, I'm going to switch them at some point just to fix it, but I don't know how that will work down the line. And also, I'm a little leery. There is control station here, and it says small ship. Now, this is something I wanted to point out too. I might not be able to find it because mine has mods that will fix it. But when I was looking at these, I would see more than one. Like, hypothetically, if we ignored this top part, I would look down here and see, oh, it has, you know, two different versions, so I should be able to put it. These aren't two different versions. I was thinking it was like this, and it's not. It's basically just saying there's more than one kind of block in one set, like wheels 5x5, 1x1, but there's still a separation for small ship and large ship that I forgot about. So I was just seeing 3 of a kind or whatever, and I was like, okay, so there's a small ship version, and that's not always the case, so keep that in mind. because I kind of messed that up. Now, I'm a little leery, though, because the last time I clicked on this and tried to add it to my hotbar to see what this control station looks like, the whole game just stopped. Like, it ended up not responding. So I'm not real thrilled about the idea. Small open cockpit. Why do I not remember that one? I'll have to look at that. And the game has also been updated multiple times since the last episode, even though the last episode was the really big graphical update. And we're also going to get to play around with our new corner lights that are now vanilla and our corner LCDs. Yeah, here's a good example. You have corner light double for small, and then corner light double for large. So I was seeing more than one version and thinking they were the same thing, and they are not. Now, let's see. So we have the corner LCDs the way that they were with the mods, but there's also these straight ones that are kind of interesting. I think that's all correctly focused. So you'd have one like this. So you can actually do a straight sign, which is a cool effect. I like that. And I'm still not 100% sure how I want to lay out all the sign stuff. There is the simple... Where did it go? Where's the first one? Hold on. That's weird. Oh, there we go. I had it rotated wrong. So there's these, but I have a feeling they'll be hard to see. I mean, we could test that out. Oops. We could test that out. Now, I haven't used these in a long time, so there's new stuff like custom data and things that I don't know what that does. There's a new font system, which is cool. You can add your own fonts and things, I believe, if you have a mod or something that you want to add. I think. Don't quote me on any of this because I've never used these since they changed a lot of their stuff. Let's see. Show block and toolbar. I don't see the behavior anymore. Oh, there it is. Show text on screen. Edit text. So, reactor room. And is there a green? There's a green. So let's see what that does. Okay, so that's really small. We don't want that. Let's take it up to like 5. And can you do... Okay, so there's background, there's custom color. So you could change the font and then adjust the color. That's not a bad idea either. URL normal, error message box, info caption, screen caption, game credits, loading screen. So apparently these are all the different... Now I don't know what... I know monospace is a kind of font, but I don't know why it's like... Usually you have fonts that are monospace fonts, so I'm not really sure why this just says monospace like it is a font. Because from my understanding it's more of like a type of font. And then we'll crank this down to green. And actually we could get really... tricky with it and make the green actually match our lights that we had in there if we wanted to. A whole bunch of stuff. There's a lot of... Woo! That's big. That's a big font. 3. Let's try 3. Good. And visible, but I'd probably want this a little more centered. So can we add a space? Ah, that's nice. Now... How would it work if I put turn... Okay, that's too much. There doesn't seem to be a function for... Unless you could put it in custom data, maybe. I don't know what this is for. But a way to set it to, like, be centered kind of thing. Or, whatchamacallit? Justified or anything like that where it kind of... moves things around, but again, I have never played around with the custom data stuff, so that could totally be a thing you could do. I just may not know about it. Okay, so 3 or maybe I guess you could go a little less than 3. Oh, we're gonna have a problem with this though. Unless I could put it there, but it doesn't seem to be letting me. Whoops. Okay, I'm not sure how I want to handle that one. But yeah, so there's that kind of stuff. For the corner lights, it looks like they'll probably handle about the same way as the modded one. They're just going to be vanilla instead, which is good. So yeah, I will have to go back through it some, but I'm not going to put you guys through all that again, though. I already put you through like 1 or 2 or 3 episodes of just lighting stuff, so that would not be fun. But at some point I need to go back through and actually put the lights back in. But that'll be kind of a finishing touch thing. So, alright. So, I think it's time to discuss some detail stuff. Oh, that's interesting. Did I... Oh, I placed that last episode when we were playing around with how to do the buttons and things. That's right. I was going to say, I was like, how did those lights get there? Don't mind me. So, I don't think there's a whole lot of functionality left to do in the ship. I'm pretty sure it mostly comes down to detail work and testing. And what I mean by testing is like thruster pull, gyroscope strength, things like that. Can it go in and out of atmospheres? Do I need something else? Blah, blah, blah. But functionally wise, I'm pretty sure one of these med bays handles respawn. We've got a cryo chamber. We can recharge from there. We have all of our refinery. I think these are hydrogen tanks and these are oxygen tanks. So we have our storage. We have an oxygen generator. We have a backup tank there. I think there's an assembler underneath all these modules, and there's a refinery there. We've got our storage. We've got 3 storage crates. Shields. Jump drives. I don't know what my jump range will be, but we have quite a few. Gravity. Reactors. Batteries for residual energy stuff. Programming and timers for handling scripts and all that good stuff. Reactor access, and then pretty much everything up here is all for role-playing of captain's cabins and all that kind of crap. So I'm pretty sure we've got everything that we need. We even have our backups and stuff like that. CIC, everything's good. So pretty much it was just the upgraded visuals that kind of threw a monkey wrench into things. So moving forward, I'm gonna talk a little bit. I don't know. I apologize. I apologize if the last couple episodes have been weird and not what you guys expected or wanted or whatever. But I'm kind of just rolling with the punches. I was getting a couple comments here and there about. You know, with this many mods and as long as it's taken, you know, it's just going to end up breaking over time, and by the time you actually build it and stuff, you won't ever really get to use it. That's not really true. Kind of like the whole texture thing. You know, if something breaks, you fix it. Or, you know, eventually the mod makers will update their mods, or the developers will fix something they broke. I mean, it's part of playing. It's kind of one of those, you know, you're playing an alpha game with mods. You're modifying a game that's not even done, that's constantly being updated every week. So it's kind of like, you know what you're getting into, basically. If you're expecting a really stable environment, then, well, it's not going to happen. And plus, I'm also, a third kind of monkey wrench into that is I'm on the development build. I don't know if I ever expressed that or if anybody knew about that or not. I think I had. But I play in the development branch so that I get all the latest updates and things right as they come out. So it's constantly changing every week. There's like, well, other than just, you know, bug fix updates. But if they do anything, you know, it hits me like all the other players on the development build first. And the mods I'm using are in the development build and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, things are constantly changing on this game because they're updating things. Modders are updating things. You know, the updates they do break a modder's update. You know, it's constantly a flux. So, you know, I'm not really worried about it, though. I mean, if something breaks, we fix it. That's just how it goes. But I will, disclaimer, forewarn, whatever. While I'm talking, you know, I might just go ahead and start placing some lights here. But actually, no, I'm not going to do that because while I do it, I wanted to take my time and actually rename them all as we go. But maybe I'll mess with these. Oh, that's a mod. I had put this on my hotbar because I wanted to see what it was. That's a mod. I'll mess with these LCD panels. But basically what I'm getting at is I apologize if you're expecting a lot of progress and things like that for me to turn around and essentially, you know, be explaining or talking or doing whatever. So, you know, I apologize for that, but at the same time, I'm kind of forewarning you that's bound to happen, is every once in a while, when they do a major update or change, there's more than likely going to be, you know, an episode or two here or there where I'm basically going to end up kind of, you know, making lemonades out of lemons, or lemonade out of lemons, basically, where it's like, you know, you're explaining where we're going to go from here, how we're going to handle the changes and updates and so on and so forth. So try and keep that in mind. That doesn't seem like it's moving very far. Oh, there it goes. Now you move. Let's see where that puts me. It's still a little off. So anyways, my point to all that was this episode and the last one are going to be a little bit wonky because I'm kind of working my way through the changes and things like that. But basically, I'm pretty sure that functionally, other than the scripting stuff, the scripting is going to be a whole thing I'm going to probably do off camera or something. I'm not going to really mess with all that on camera. If I did, it would be through its own series, like not holding the standard Let's Play stuff back. It would just be a secondary series where I'm using my own ship as a guinea pig, basically, but we're, you know, going through and scripting functions that I want in my ship. But as far as the standard Let's Play video series playlist type thing, I'm not going to put a bunch of programming stuff in there. That's... Why am I... Oh, I crouched. Okay. I wouldn't do that. That's... I know enough about that to know that it's going to take so much time to do all that it's definitely its own beast, basically. So fear not if on that part. That's not a problem. I have thought about, though, doing some kind of programming 102 type series, since the oh, I put in ramp, I meant panel. I was like, where's the panels that I'm looking for? I didn't even look at the new control panels. I should probably check that out. Oh, now that's interesting. Mergeable. I don't remember seeing that one. Fascinating. Where's just my regular panels? I thought I had a hotbar with them on there. Did I clear that? There they are. So I have armor pan. What's mergeable? Interesting. Oh, they're only available for large ships. Ah, and here's another update for those of you that may not be aware of it. Down in the side here, it's now showing, I don't know, I think you can see my cursor. Maybe you can't. I don't remember if I have the hardware cursor on or not. But anyways, down in the left of this hotbar, you can see a little square, smaller icon. That shows you what grid you're on. And you'll notice now there's no push a button to change grid size, because in one of the updates they did with the graphical update was it's supposed to dynamically adapt to whatever grid size you're on. But when you're not on a grid size and you're building just out in space, you needed to be able to change your grid size. So one of the things they added is now you can press the button for the selected block again. That's why it says press 1 again to change the block size. And now you'll notice the square on the left has changed to a large ship grid, and then if you press it again, it's a small. Or if you have it selected and highlight something on a small grid, sometimes it will snap to it and adapt anyway. So that's just another fun fact on how to use some of the new stuff that they did. But yeah, so anyways, I apologize again if the episodes are a little weird and wonky, but just kind of bear with me because they will return to form. But I think, I mean, unless somebody just really comes out of left field with something really cool that I hadn't thought about, I'm pretty sure functionally it's already done. We have mostly figured out the lighting for down here. I just have to go back and redo it all at some point, and I honestly just haven't had time. I keep saying I'm going to do it off camera so that you guys aren't bored to death with it, but I may end up doing it in an episode mainly just because when I sit down to record my episode seems to be the only time I actually work on my build. So that's kind of one of those, I'm sorry, it's just lifestyle stuff that I've just got enough going on that I haven't really been taking time to just build on Space Engineers off camera. So I don't want to do that, but in the interest of getting things done, I may end up doing that just so that we're making progress. So I apologize if it takes a little longer than some people want, but I can only do so much. So with that said, oh, that's interesting. They changed the LCD screens too. I noticed because these are modded, so they haven't updated, but these are the new ones. That's interesting. And you can even tell the highlight is the old school way, and then this one has a much less invasive highlight. Sorry, I'm getting a little distracted as I noticed different new little things they did with the update. But anyways, so I think the last things that are left, the function I think is here. I think the function is fine. The only thing I'm not sure about is respawning, but I'm pretty sure that's why I left this guy. This should cover hydrogen, oxygen, and energy, and I think even health. And if not, then I think this one did health and respawning. And then your cryo chambers for saving and all that stuff. We've got a few timer blocks. We could always add more if we needed to. I don't think we will. And programmable blocks to run scripts and operating systems when we get them. This is all stuff. We have our refinery stuff, our CIC, our reactors, our backup stuff, our flight, cockpit, all that stuff. So, and we have weapons on the top, we have weapons deployable on the bottom, landing gears, rover bay, so on and so forth. So I'm pretty sure that all of the functionality is there. So the last steps that we're going to end up looking at. Lighting we've already talked about. The bottom is basically done, I just have to go back and redo it. The top might spend a few minutes on color. I'll probably go and do placement off camera or really quickly or something like that up in the CIC, but I do want like feedback from all of you guys and stuff for like color and design stuff. So this down here I will probably do off camera because it's already been touched on. The CIC area and stuff like that I'll try and do off camera, and then color wise we'll work on that together. But when the lighting's done, I'm pretty sure it comes down to testing. I think it'll just turn into then test flight mechanics, make sure the thrusters and gyroscopes hold up. Because I did actually leave myself enough room in the walls here. You know, there's enough space back in all of this that if we found this just isn't enough gyroscopes or this isn't enough void thrusters to actually power anything, whatever, then, you know, we could put more over here or whatnot. Now, I don't know. This is where building in creative can be a bit of a snag, and why I said we're gonna, after the lighting's done, unless we come up with a lot of detail stuff that I hadn't thought of, but I mean, we don't really have a whole lot of room for what I call clutter detail. What I mean by that is stuff like this, where it's a crate, it's there, but it doesn't really do a whole lot. It's not really storing anything or, you know, connected to a system or whatnot. So that's what I call clutter detail, where it makes a build look lived in, but it's not really functional. It doesn't really do anything. So I don't have a whole lot of room for that though. I like it. In a lot of the builds I've done in the Inspiration series and stuff, you'll see a lot of Corvettes that are small ships, or small ship grids, and they use every little block to put more and more detail in, and it's really cool. But I don't have the mind for it. I don't ever think of things I could use, and I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on something I'm not really great at. So if somebody like suggests something that was a really good idea, I might make use of it. But more than likely, lighting is probably going to be our last detail step. And we've, like I said, we've already got the bottom figured out. I just have to go back and replace it all. The CIC we have to figure out, but that won't take nearly as long as down here, especially if I do placement on my own. So after the lighting detail, the testing stuff is going to be flight mechanics, power, running the shields and jump drives and all those thrusters and gyroscopes and all that. You know, does the power hold up, or are we going to run out of power as soon as we turn everything on? Stuff like that. The other thing that I'd probably need to do is with gravity. I need to adjust this gravity generator and the backup generator to encompass the whole ship. Or at least the backup one cover the bridge and this one cover the whole ship, whatever. Because I'm basically going to turn all of my backup stuff off or in the recharge mode. But like gravity generator and stuff won't be on if the primary one's functional. So it's all that kind of stuff that we need to do a test run on. I'll have to make a copy of the world and set it to survival, and then see fully powered. How does it power? Is the solar panels on the bridge and stuff enough? Can I, are the oxygen farms in the wings enough? All that kind of stuff. So we don't have too much more to build, and then we're going to move into the testing phase, where we'll test atmospheric transfer. Can it do that? Does it need more thrusters? Can it fly right? Can it turn okay? You know, if I turn and I shoot, am I going to blow myself up? You know, all those kinds of little detail things. And actually, once that's done, then I will probably start a whole new season playlist on my channel, which will be a survival-based. Now, I will preface this. This has turned into a very expensive ship. When I first started, I was thinking of cost of material. Yeah, now not so much. I'm not really worried about cost at this point, because I've already blown the budget, basically. There's no way this is a starting ship anymore. Though I will admit, I was using the SE Toolbox because I was told in the comments, I've yet to figure out how, but I was told in the comments you can actually use the SE Toolbox to figure out what mods were used in the build. Not just what was in the world, but what was actually, like, utilized. And I've been trying to figure out how, and I haven't really been doing a great job with it. I'm kind of coming up empty. But if any of you know or are familiar with SE Toolbox enough that you could explain it to me, I'd be more than happy to hear it, because it would make my life a whole lot easier. Just to basically turn around and be like, I only used like 50 of the mods out of the 200 and some I have, and be able to clean up the world save and all that kind of stuff. But like I said, I couldn't really find a way to find all that info. So, with that said, I was using SE Toolbox the other day trying to figure that out, though, and I was looking at the material costs and things, and while it is still pretty high, I really was surprised that it wasn't as bad as I expected it to be. I expected it to be really expensive, and it really wasn't that terrible. I mean, it was high. It was a lot of steel and stuff for all these heavy armor plates and things, but it wasn't like you're never going to get this much material kind of material. So it was a little shocking. I was kind of surprised, because I really expected it to be kind of crazy. Another suggestion I would like moving forward towards the survival state is what... I just realized I missed a corner thing here that I need to put there. Curious. Anyways, like this. I missed a corner here. What would be the easiest way to actually build the ship? I know you can use projectors and welders, but I don't know if, like, the welders have to be within a certain proximity or something, or, how it actually works. So let me know. Actually, I do know the easiest would probably be to include the nanite mod and build a platform on a large ship grid with a projector that points outward, and then have the nanites build off the projector or something. I saw that on a mod spotlight one time, and it was a really cool mod, because it basically could just build anything throughout the whole projection, which was cool. But if you guys have ideas for how to build without having to build each and every little block, but kind of just dump materials into a welder and just have it build, I would love that, because basically I could just set this up as a shipyard on a survival world, and just when I'm getting any excess materials, just dump them into that kind of thing. Which would be a faster way to build it. But so yeah, moving forward, again, I apologize for the weird quirkiness of the last couple episodes, but moving forward, we're going to work on lighting and try and finish up lighting. When lighting is done, we're going to move into testing, and I'll probably switch this world over to survival, or load this blueprint into a world with survival, whatever. Because I need a planet, and I don't think I have a planet in this map. So, spawn planet, do planet testing, do weapon testing, do crash testing, power testing, maneuverability testing, all that testing. So, with that said, I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, and I will see you all next time. Peace.